sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Eat Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
The biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
They're still talking about it.
I think it's time to put the rumors to rest.
Showtime!
$30 million.
$30 million?
$30 million? $30 million?
That's $30 million guaranteed. 3 contests, multiple ways to win, no rate. Entry starting at $1,000. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
Hey, Riley, how many touchdowns you kick last year?
You can't kick a touchdown, Hank.
Well, maybe you can't. I need a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale.
I mean, I caught a touchdown.
That's cool. Who kicked it to you?
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Hey, Riley, the most important position on a football team. Go.
Well, it's a team sport, Hank.
Wrong. No, it's kicker. Why do you think they call it football? Why do you think Lithia Ford is having a fall kickoff sale? Tell you what, they're not having a fall tight end sale.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RoadPaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, it's Monday morning. Another week begins. Another week of fall camp. Another Boise State football practice out on the grass. Getting set to go here in Boise, Idaho. We are down at Boise State. You see the equipment staff, Dale Holstein, his crew, hard at work getting the field ready for today's practice, which will get going here in just a couple of minutes. 9:06, they'll be on the practice field officially at 9:30ish, 9:45. Get things rolling about 10 o'clock. We can actually see blue sky. We actually don't have to worry about bad air quality in the practice getting moved inside. So a lot going on, and we're excited to be down here right behind the practice field to tell you all about it. My name is BJ Rains. This is Nathan Carroll, and we are with Bronco Nation News for the next hour or so, talking Boise State fall camp, what Spencer Danielson said at Saturday's scrimmage. We'll hear from Spencer Danielson, a couple bites from him, and cool story coming up later. AJ Few, assistant coach for the men's basketball team. His dad, Mark Few, went into the Hall of Fame. I saw Leon Rice. I saw all the Rice kids and some of the footage that I saw. So the whole Rice family was up there. The whole Few family obviously was up there, but it was a cool weekend as Mark Few went into the Hall of Fame, and multiple members of Boise State's coaching staff in attendance, getting to meet, some of the who's who, Hall of Famers of college basketball, and really cool. And we'll check in with AJ Few a little later in the show. He's back in Spokane. I'm assuming they had a big Few private jet probably that got him back to Spokane. But looking forward to catching up with AJ Few a little later in the show to talk about his dad going into the Hall of Fame on Saturday. Pretty cool there. But again, down here at Boise State, excited for another week of fall camp. Scrimmage 1 is in the books. Nathan, long-winded intro there, but how we doing? And it's another week of fall camp. Excited.
Yeah, doing well. It feels like we're in the second phase of fall camp. I feel like everything up to that first scrimmage is a lot of guys finding their feet, guys getting back into the rhythm of things. And then once you hit that first scrimmage, I feel like intensity ramps up a little bit. Guys start to really feel the pressure of camp battles going on. And Spencer touched on there's going to be a few different camp battles at a few different spots we'll be monitoring. And really here by the end of this week, I think their plan is by Saturday, at the end of that second scrimmage, they want to have a really good idea of what the depth chart looks like. So this week, it's, how they call that third day in golf movement day. Like if you want to move up the board, it has to happen on Saturday. This is movement week. Like if a guy's going to come up and earn a starting spot or break into a rotation, has to happen this week.
Yeah, Spencer said after the first scrimmage, the depth chart will change based on the first scrimmage. Now they move some things around, and then they'll have a full week of practice and then scrimmage 2, and that's really when they set the final depth chart going into week 1 of the season. Robbie Robinson was commenting on this at 4:45 this morning. He kicks us off in the ICCU YouTube chat, iccu.com. Check him out for all your checking and savings account needs, all your banking needs. Idaho Central Credit Union, iccu.com. Why is this up at 4:45 a.m. is beyond me, but good morning nonetheless. The question would be, Robbie, why are you up at 4:45 in the morning to see it? But appreciate you for being the first to comment. Billy claims he commented last night, but I'll comment for the second time watching from Minnesota. I didn't see a comment first, so we might finally have someone to beat him in the chat there. Yeah, D-Ray says, why are you up at 4:45? I agree on that. But we got folks all over chiming in. We got sunny South Florida. Appreciate you. Good morning from the Lou. My favorite commenter on there, S. Hartman 23. Appreciate you. Omaha checking in. Florida again. All you guys always appreciate you chiming in. Dylan is over in Idaho Falls, letting us know where you're watching from. So Juno Beach, Florida, checking in as well. So always appreciate it. Let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat where you're watching from, how you're doing this morning, and we'll continue to give the shout-outs throughout the show. If you have any questions or comments, you can get those in as well. We are in the mobile Sun Cruiser studios. Sun Cruiser, whether it's the iced tea vodkas, the lemonade vodkas, whether you're golfing, barbecuing, hanging out, watching some baseballs, the pennant races start to heat up here in mid to late August. Grab a Sun Cruiser. You can get them at your local gas station or grocery store. You will not be disappointed. And as always, our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, Jim Sturk and Company. We'll actually be out doing a broadcast there in a couple of weeks at Lithia Ford, and appreciate them for their support. There would be no Bronco Nation news, folks, without Lithia Ford of Boise. So next time you're looking for that new or pre-owned vehicle, make sure you get out to Lithia Ford of Boise online, lithiafordboise.com. All right, I mentioned Spencer Danielson talking to the media, and we're going to hear his kind of opening statement here in a second. But not a lot of news and notes that came out of it. Ben Ford getting closer. Still no word officially if he's going to be back. We have the Jeremiah Irby, Braxton Feely thing, which I think is trending in a negative direction if you're wanting those guys back. We'll get to that soundbite here in a minute as well. But before we kind of hear from Spencer, any general takeaways from what you heard in the presser from scrimmage 1?
Yeah, I think a lot of what he talked about in that press conference just echoed a lot of what we've been seeing in practice and a lot of what we've been writing about, right? Like, he talked about how coming into camp, he thought the front seven would be a strength, and he's been impressed by the back end. We've written a lot about this secondary, I think, is a lot further along than we would have thought about 8-9 months ago when you've got 5 newcomers coming in to try to fill starting spots there. Talked about the offense had some struggles, talked about how the passing game has still quite a bit of work to go. But then within that, he talked about Akeem Wright, Nitro, having a really strong scrimmage and how he's having a really fall camp. That's a guy that we've highlighted a couple times. Man, it seems like every time we're out here, Akeem Wright is making plays. I think he has – in the spring, all the talk was Rashawn Jones, and like, man, Rashawn Jones might be the best receiver on this team. I think Akeem Wright this fall camp has kind of taken that mantle. That's at least what I think we've seen. And so to hear Spencer sort of echo that sentiment was good to hear. So nothing newsworthy, I would say, but a lot of just affirming what we've been seeing with our eyes here at camp.
All right, let's hear from Spencer Danielson. His opening comments against scrimmage 1 was closed to the media. It was open, obviously, to the team and the coaches. And then afterwards, Spencer Danielson talked, as an open press conference, I guess you can say, after the scrimmage. But we were not allowed to watch. We couldn't see what happened. But here's Spencer Danielson meeting with the media after that scrimmage on Saturday.
Where we're heading to, we on purpose have turned the heat up on them this fall camp, and they've responded every step of the way. It's really cool to see our team grow to be a locker room led team, which is what we need. I mean, our player led leadership is stepping up in a big way. Really, really excited about that, the accountability we have. So we got a lot of work to do. Today was just a really good barometer, right? I told him yesterday, I need you to prep just like it's game number 1, because I want to see what you got. If you're a returning starter, you've never played, doesn't matter. I want to see what you got today, because this is an evaluation at all special teams, offense and defense. And we're going to sit down, we're going to watch it, and then we're going to sit down as a staff at 5:30, and depth charts will change off of what happened today. Then we have scrimmage number 2. Things will be solidified. Scout teams will be picked up, and then we hit the ground running. So a lot of good things today. Sloppy at times. Some things we got to clean up in the pre-snap on both sides of the ball. Overall, let's talk offensively first. Did some good things. Third down, some things we got to improve on. I thought Maddox did some really good things today. I thought our quarterbacks are growing. Our running backs did some really good things today. As an offense, started a little bit slow, but we were able to pick it up later in the game. Didn't have a ton of explosive plays, so we want to continue to grow, but we did have some big ones in the game. Our offense won the 4-minute drill at the end of the game, which was really cool to see us end the game and be able to take a knee. On the flip side, defensively, doing some good things defensively, some runs that we need to fix, some run fits that we need to grow. But overall, I think we tackled pretty well, which is good through 9 practices. Overall, I think our secondary is playing fast, playing hard. Some things that, our receivers have made some big-time plays through fall camp. It's been cool to see the back and forth there. Our front 7 as a defense is solid right now. We just got to continue to grow the mentality we play with. It's really good at times in scrimmage, but a little bit too up and down. So really good back and forth, O&D. We're able to get a good rep at a lot of different special teams to see how those depth charts are going, and we got to make sure our best players play on SWAT. Field goal kicking was a little bit hit or miss today. We were able to rep a few different guys. Got to improve that. So overall, I like where we're at, but relentless to make sure we improve from the mistakes that happened today, and we have to.
All right, there's Spencer Danielson, and I think it said nightmare words there. You don't want to hear from a coach and when he's not even brought up about it as the kicking being a little up and down or inconsistent. We do have a full soundbite on the kickers we can get to if we'd like to, but overall, you mentioned Nitro, right? He was a guy that did stand out. You mentioned the offense first couple drives, maybe not in that bite, but he did mention during the presser, first couple drives, offense sputtered a little bit, but then got going. Nitro made some big plays. It's always one of those things, as Nathan, like if the offense does good, that means your defense did something bad to give up the play. And if your defense is playing well, then your offense isn't doing as well. So it is an interesting kind of thing when you talk about these scrimmages, when you're playing yourself, as a head coach, to point out good things with the offense, and you can take that vice versa.
Right. Yeah. It's the rule of camp, whether it's spring or fall. If the offense looks good, it's because the defense is bad. If the defense looks good, it's because the offense is bad. I remember talking to our 24/7 affiliate at USF last year before the opening game, and he was talking about, this offense just keeps destroying the defense every practice. I think this defense is going to be pretty bad. Well, it turns out the offense at USF was really, really good, and the defense was pretty good, right? Like, hopefully it's the case that the defense this year is very, very good and that the offense is good, but just not that level. The kicking stuff is interesting because we talked about this last year during fall camp. Like, Colton Boomer didn't seem like was having a great fall camp. Seemed like it might be a little bit of a competition there. And then season starts and Colton Boomer is pretty much lights out after that Eastern Washington game, right? So maybe Colton Boomer, just a little bit of a gamer, like needs the pressure of that moment there. But obviously not what Boise State fans want to hear is the kicking game was hit or miss. Certainly some scars, maybe a little bit of PTSD there for Boise State fans hearing that.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm loading the soundbite on the kicker right now. I'm got stuff downloaded to the cloud, I guess, so it's having to re-download or something. We'll get the kicker soundbite on here in a second. We'll hear from the quarterbacks or on the quarterbacks as well. But overall, I mean, it sounds like they've avoided the big injury bug. A couple guys, he said, were a little bit banged up, just fall camp stuff. Ben Ford is obviously on the recovery. But knock on wood, at least what he's willing to share with us, it doesn't sound like they've had any of those devastating camp injuries yet.
Yeah, and typically at this part of camp too, even when he talks about banging, guys getting banged up, it's, hey, if a guy has a little thing, we're going to be extra cautious, hold him out. Obviously, you want him out there and getting better, but you don't want a guy to have a minor hamstring thing that becomes a big hamstring thing. So the fact that there's no major injuries, that he says pretty much everyone is healthy, they came out of the scrimmage with no major injuries. All good news on the injury front, because you are starting to see at other programs some of the injury bugs matriculate. I know South Carolina this weekend announced that 2 of their top 4 receivers are going to be done for the year with knee injuries. So the fact they've avoided any major injuries is obviously a massive win through fall camp, regardless of how offense or defense has looked.
All right, let's hear it. It's just about 20 seconds, pretty short bite, but Spencer Danielson asked about the situation at kicker.
Good question, Johnny. Right now, Colton Boomer's our starting kicker with Oscar Doyle as the punter. But there's been really good competition. Kane Moore's been a little bit banged up. Braden, a young true freshman, has done a really good job. So it's something the next few weeks that we need to continue to solidify. Colton Boomer just has to be more consistent. We know he can do it, but he has to be more consistent.
Your thoughts when you hear that?
Yeah, he highlighted Braden Scott, who last week we had talked about the fall camp standouts through 1 week, and I put Braden Scott in that article. I think Braden Scott's come along and done a really great job for a true freshman. He gets a lot of praise from teammates and from coaches. We'll see if that ends up being a camp competition. Now, he did say Colton Boomer is our starter right now. It wasn't that's a battle. I think Colton Boomer's going to be the guy going into the year, but certainly I think if Colton Boomer gets off to a slow start or if that inconsistency carries into the season, good to know that there's a guy in Braden Scott who's been performing pretty well at practice so far.
No doubt about it. And that's one of those things where sometimes we read into it too far where you're like, oh, wow, Scott's getting all these reps. And then you find out, Moore was a little banged up. So we don't really know kind of where the pecking order is on that. But certainly the fact that he's said in the opening statement and then said again in there in the question that, Colton Boomer has to be more consistent. Any chance he's not the starter come the Oregon game?
I think week 1, it's going to be Colton Boomer. I'd be stunned if it's not. I'd say 95% chance he's the guy week 1. But I think what it does is if there is a slow start or if Colton Boomer, is not at the consistency they want to see in season, that this lends itself to maybe there is a mid-season switch. But I think week 1, it's going to be Colton Boomer out there for the opening kickoff, for the opening field goal, the opening PAT.
All right, the quarterbacks, getting some questions, discussion, shocker in the chat about the quarterbacks and how they performed and what that depth chart looks like. We'll hear from Spencer Danielson on the quarterbacks in just a minute, but I do want to thank a couple of our great sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, our road trip sponsor, our YouTube chat sponsor. We appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union helping us get on the road to all the road games this season. And that even includes a stop next week in Las Vegas. Looking forward to that, getting the BNN crew back down there for the contest weekend with Circa. We'll tell you more about that. But Idaho Central Credit Union, online, iccu.com. Whether it's checking accounts, savings accounts, so many great options like cell phone protection and perks and things that come with it. So check out Idaho Central Credit Union. You may think you like your banking experience, folks. I can tell you, if you make the switch to ICCU, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. Hey, our friends at Jackson's, don't forget those trading cards are going to be coming out, and they've got the bigger fountain drink for 99 cents. Use that Let's Go Rewards app and get a bigger fountain drink for just 99 cents. They have deals on coffee as well, and they're giving away a lot of cool stuff. Got the free banana the other day with the fountain drink purchase. So, hey, Jackson's, be looking for those trading cards. More details on that to come. We appreciate our friends at Jackson's. We got the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorange.com as well, and Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor. I jumped the gun on the promo there. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, whether it's you're selling a home, whether you're buying a home, Matt Bauscher and his team are ready to help you guys out, folks. Bauscher Real Estate, online at bauscherrealestate.com. Best in the Northwest, and soon probably the entire United States. Wouldn't shock me here. Matt Bauscher gave us tremendous help when we were trying to sell our home, and then when we wanted to purchase our home, he got us in our dream home, and he helped cover that gap for us as well. So Bauscher Real Estate, tremendous customer service. You will not be disappointed. Online at bauscherrealestate.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. 13 locations in the state of Idaho. Check them out online at shopridleys.com. And our friends at rowpaint.com as well. Andy Rowe and Company, rowpaint.com. We appreciate them. Check out Andy Rowe and rowpaint.com. All your painting needs. It's interior, exterior painting, those concrete coatings as well. Check them out at rowpaint.com. We are in the Sun Cruiser Studios, mobile studios. You see the buses. I think today's the first day. A lot of the faculty are back on campus, and then school, I believe, starts next week. Is that correct? So I know they're not quite in classes yet here at Boise State, but I know a lot of the faculty is back, and so a little more, starting to be a little more traffic, a little more buzz on campus. We can hear the band. They're over at that end of the field or that end of the parking lot working on things. So, it's getting to be closer to football season once you hear the band out there.
That's right.
Working, so.
That's right. You get done with the first scrimmage, start to hear the band, and it's okay. Football season is right around the corner. Spencer said it 3 weeks from Saturday until that Oregon game. And that kind of caught me off guard. It's like, only 3 weeks away. It feels like, it's still so long. We've got so much of camp to go. But yeah, we're right there, right around the corner.
All right, Spencer Danielson, the quarterbacks. What did he make of the quarterbacks? Let's hear Spencer Danielson after scrimmage 1.
So the fall camp, anything new that you learned during the live scrimmage?
Yeah, I think just overall, how our team can operate, even coaching-wise, right? We got coaches in the box. We're doing the full game day operation, and there's some things just operationally we have to improve as a staff. And they just seen how our guys operate situational football, right? In practice, you set them up for success a lot of times, right? This is a red zone period. Ding, ding, ding. Let's be really good red zone. But when it happens naturally, how is our offense in the red zone being able to feel that, understand how a defense is attacking them? On the flip side, so I think situational football is something that at times today was really good, at times today was not. So there was a little bit roller coaster, and we got to fix it.
What were quarterbacks like today, all 4 of them?
Yeah, I thought Maddox did some really good things without watching the film. Once again, as an offense, our first couple drives was not good enough. So obviously the quarterback has part to do with that. But I think overall Maddox operated well. He didn't have any turnovers today, operated the offense really well. We were able to go on some really good scoring drives. Max Cupforth did a good job today. Had some good throws, had some decisions that needs to get cleaned up. Cash has continued to grow. Still some operation areas with Cash, and JT was solid. Didn't get a ton of reps today. So as a group, without being able to look at it until I watched the film, proud of where we're at, but we still got to continue to take steps. Really, really proud of Maddox's leadership through these 9 practices, and it's not just even as an offense. I mean, he's grabbed me saying, "Hey, coach, let me get the team after this walkthrough because I saw some trash on the ground." Right? When you start having that happening, I'm excited where that's heading to, especially for him.
Why do you think Matson's going to be better this year? Every year people get better.
Yeah.
Where will we notice him as a better quarterback?
Yeah, I think overall, his leadership. And the quarterback makes everybody better. Not even just the offense. It makes the defense better. It makes special teams better. Has to, right? It's that position. And so I think leadership-wise, decision-making, and he's the best he's ever been athletically. And he took off today on a 3rd down, and he can run. He's athletic. I mean, Coach Hilgard did a great job. Maddox Madsen worked his tail off this summer. I mean, we track all the player loads with GPSs, and he's been in top 5 almost every practice. That doesn't happen a lot with quarterbacks, right? Usually it's the skill positions that are running a ton. That just shows the work ethic that he's been putting in.
How do you think of that, Maddox Madsen? Athletic as he's been. Maybe he scrambled in the scrimmage there for a gain. Are we going to see? Is that going to be a storyline now? Maddox Madsen using his legs here.
Well, we saw in the Boise State put out there The Climb season 4 episode 1, and
haven't seen it yet, so don't.
I won't spoil too much for you. But Benjamin Hilgard at one point talks about how Maddox wanted to work out with the receivers this offseason, kind of build a bond with them, and so Hilgard told him, hey, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to do all of the running that we put the receivers through. And apparently, Maddox did way more running than the quarterbacks have ever done here before. So, yeah, I mean, what Spencer said lines up with what they put in the little documentary that they did. And, it's something that we don't see a lot at practice, because when is Maddox ever sprinting full speed for extended period of time? Or having to
dive out of the way of guys, when they're trying to tackle him.
Right, yeah. That's all stuff that unanswered question. We'll see it when they go up against Oregon and that defensive line, which is very, very good, which we'll have that conversation closer to that game. But, Maddox Madsen, like, if he can use his legs a little bit more, be a little bit more of an athlete, that's going to help open up everything in the offense for him. So certainly, if nothing else, that's a good sign to hear if you're a Bronco fan.
Yeah, the stable BSU saying Mad Dog is 10 times better if he can use his legs. And we've seen that at times on third downs and things, that he knows kind of when to do that. But if he's not dealing with any kind of ankle injury or knee, if he's feeling good and back out there, that's certainly a good sign moving forward here. Let's stay on the offense, but go to those wide receivers. You talked about them. We mentioned Akeem Wright, obviously, is a guy that has stepped up and been very impressive to this point. That was a big concern for me, and I think for a lot of fans, Nathan, coming into camp was coming into the fall or the spring, I guess, more so. But the wide receivers and where that group is going to be able to kind of take that next step and make up for some of the losses they had. They had a lot of drops last year. A lot of those were Chris Marshall, who's gone, but Cam Bates struggled with some drops. Some other guys. So a lot of storylines around the wide receiver group. We'll hear from Spencer in a second. But overall, where do you feel? I know you touched on it briefly earlier, but with this crew overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I guess, just how you feel about the wide receivers at this point.
Yeah, I'd say I'd give the wide receivers like a 6 out of 10. There's a lot of guys that I think are going to be capable football players, whether it's an Akeem Wright, whether it's a Cam Bates or Rashawn Jones. Ben Ford, when he gets back healthy, we've seen him. He can be a good football player. My biggest concern with that room right now is, do you have a wide receiver 1? Do you have a guy that on 3rd and 4 can run a slant or can run a quick out and get you the first down? At times last year, that was Chris Marshall. Like, there were a few times, like, they wanted Chris Marshall to be that guy. And week 1, USF, on the 4-yard line in the red zone, he gets that slant and scores the touchdown. It's like, okay, that's the guy. And the consistency wasn't there for Marshall. Can someone emerge as that guy who you can throw the ball to 100 times this year and be the number 1? Because, in my opinion, in college football, having a depth of receivers is great, but having that alpha number 1 is really what changes how defense have to cover you. You're not going to have a Jeremiah Smith on this team, but having that one wide receiver 1 like a Jeremiah Smith who, okay, the defense constantly has to worry about where's Jeremiah. I don't know if that guy is on that team right now, but I do think the wide receiver room should be better. The drops have not been as big of an issue this year, at least during camp. Now, we'll see if there's a performance anxiety factor to that, right? Cam Bates has looked good this camp. He had drop issues last year. So we'll see if that maintains. So I'll say about a 6 out of 10. Can they find a true wide receiver 1? But I'm happy with where the depth's at. And that top 4, I think, are all pretty capable.
And I'm not saying necessarily wide receiver 1, but if it was 3rd and 4 right now and the first quarter at Oregon and they need a catch, I mean, my first thought's Ben Ford. He's going to catch the ball. He'll find a way to get open. Like, he's not going to be he's certainly not the Chris Marshall type where you just throw it up there. But if you need someone that's not going to hopefully drop the ball and make a play, like right now, just based on someone that's actually done it in games and he's back and who you have as options, my first thought is Ben Ford, but I certainly think there's 4, 5, 6 guys that could emerge. Let's hear from Spencer Danielson after the scrimmage on Saturday talking about those wide receivers.
Akeem Wright, Nitro, he continues to have a really, really good camp. Rashawn Jones continues to make plays. A.J. Jones had some good Cam Bates is playing at a very, very high level. A.J. Jones had a catch. You were to get Darren Morris the ball today. So that group as a whole is very, very competitive, and that's we're very, very excited where they're growing to. It's also a younger room, right, where there's not a bunch of returning starters in regards to yards and catches, but I love where our receivers are heading to. And so there's some big time. I'd say the biggest play of the day, receiver wise, probably had to go to Akeem. Nitro's playing at a high level.
With everything going back to January, the questions about the wide receiver room, and have you seen enough here after scrimmage one where you feel good about that room? That's not really a concern for you?
I don't know, BJ. I mean, same thing. Like, they're doing a really good job in practice, but a lot of these guys have not done it in a game yet. Cam Bates has, not a ton though, right? Ben Ford's our most veteran receiver, and he's still not quite there yet. Darren Morris has played a lot of football, but not at Boise State. We've got some younger cats. So I'm excited where they're heading to, BJ, but until we do it in a game, I can't say that I can stand on that table yet.
All right, Spencer Danielson, the receivers, and again, he brought up Nitro first, and again, not trying to place too much expectations on Nitro Wright, but I'm really excited for this guy, man. Yeah. You look at his cut numbers at De Anza College and what he did there, and then we talked to him last week, and he's already put on like 30 pounds. Like, he was going back to his dorm room and having ramen noodles at De Anza College, and now he's eating 3 meals a day, and he's in a better weight program and strength program, nutrition program, obviously. And so you think about the numbers he put up there, and he said he's still just as fast. He thinks he's the fastest player on the team. So I don't think he's given up anything yet. It's the right kind of weight he's added. But they haven't really had a kind of game-changing guy in terms of speed. And maybe I'm forgetting somebody obvious, but a guy where he can take that 5-yard bubble screen, or he can take that short pass and turn it into just a 50, 60-yard play. Mm-hmm. He can also beat you over the top, which he has so far. So the combination of speed and just the kind of swagger this guy plays with. Typically, JUCO guys, it takes them a little time, halfway through the season or even a year, and that second year is when you sometimes see the biggest jump for the JUCO guys. But he's not the biggest guy, obviously. He's not coming in with the same build or the same thing as a Cam Camper or a Hightower or some of these guys that have transferred in at wide receiver. But he certainly is a guy that he's getting a lot of hype. And from what I've seen in practice, like, I don't know if it's going to translate into the Oregon game and he's going to have 8 catches for 200 yards. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I certainly think he's a guy that is going to be a contributor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if the season started today, he's the guy I would pick to be Boise State's leading receiver this season, just because of what he's doing in practice and the uncertainty with Ben Ford.
I don't think he would have been in consideration for the first pick all off season.
No, coming out of spring, or even the first 2 weeks of spring, you probably would have had Nitro like 5th or 6th on the depth chart, just with the guys that were returning, the guys who had looked good in the spring. And Nitro came in and he looked small, and he comes in, he's put on 30 pounds. He looks significantly bigger. And the thing that impresses me most about him, like, yes, he's athletic and he's going to be able to stretch the field vertically and hopefully provide some of the run after catch stuff. I mentioned on Twitter, to me, that's the swing skill with him. If he can take a screen pass and break 2 tackles, take it for 25 yards or for a big play, like, that's what would elevate him to that true wide receiver 1 to me. The thing I'm most impressed with that continues to come up with him is his body control. He is so good when he's near the sideline, contorting his body to be able to make a catch but keep his feet in bounds, or if a ball is thrown slightly behind him or slightly high, he is such a good job of reacting quickly and getting to it. It's a little Puka Nacua-esque. Now, I'm not saying he is Puka Nacua, like that's an all-pro NFL wide receiver, but just in terms of, I remember Puka Nacua at BYU. I mean, he did it here on the Blue. Just, it seemed like any ball that was thrown near him, he was going to find a way to move his body and make that catch. So Nitro's been extremely impressive. If he can be consistent here in the last 3 weeks before that Oregon game, just continue to stack positive days, I think he's got a really good chance to be Boise State's wide receiver 1 this year. And I think going into the season right now, you'd place him at the very least as one of the starters in this group.
No doubt. Looking forward to see what Nitro Wright can do. Looking forward to this offensive line as well. They now have Chris Strasser helping out Tim Keene. They've got a couple new players at center, at left tackle. There's a couple battles at left guard, at right tackle as well. So let's talk a little offensive line, and then we'll go defensive line. Talk about the pressure they're getting on this defensive line. We'll do that here in just a second. But I do want to thank a couple more sponsors that make this show free of charge for you to watch on YouTube or Facebook or X or wherever you're watching it. That includes Piston, our newest sponsor, Piston Pay. If you own a business, Travis Hawks, I'm talking to you, Andy Rowe, all of our business owners, Stan Nicolason, and if you pay for the fuel of the employees of your company, whether they have company cars or you pay for their personal car, and then you pay for their gas, you need to use Piston Pay. $1 off gallon the first gallon, and then the first week, and then 10 cents off after that. There's no credit card, no weird statements that just say Jackson, $48, and you don't know if they got gas or snacks or beer or, whatever. was going to say cigarettes. They even still sell cigarettes at the gas station.
I think so, yeah.
I'm so far removed from that. But anything, you can now track it. It tells you how many gallons, and just it's now seamless. There's a QR code, so there's fraud protection in place. They have an app. It refreshes the QR code every time. So really cool deal, and they're a really cool new sponsor, and we appreciate them. 650-739-8327. It works at Jackson's locally. Also does work at Maverick as well, but we want you to go to Jackson's. But check them out, piston.com. Hey, Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. You need a new roof, repair to your roof, an inspection, an estimate, all your roofing needs. Hit up BNN's official roofer, Signature Roofing. Joel and company helping cover this community one roof at a time, more than 2 decades now. They put a new roof on our house a couple years ago, and we've had no issues with it, and we're loving it. Signature Roofing, and a lot of you folks have, and please do put in the chat when you use one of our sponsors. If you have a good experience, let us know, because we'll forward it on to the owners, and that does matter. And I know a couple of you have commented that you got new roofs from Signature recently, and you're happy with the process. So Signature Roofing, check them out online at mysignatureroofing.com. And it goes for Signature Roofing. It also goes for Element Fencing. I can help connect you, all of our sponsors, really. I can help connect you guys. Elementfencing.com. You want to get that new, fence, a repair to your fence, they can help you out. Element Fencing online, elementfencing.com. And they're going to sponsor our defense player of the game, which Nathan and crew will be giving out at Uncle Bob's after the Oregon game. Hopefully, a heck of a defensive performance by somebody helping to a Boise State win. But elementfencing.com, 25 years, all your fencing needs. Make sure you hit up our friends at Element Fencing. All right, we heard some hooting and hollering going on behind us. Players starting to make their way out to the field. It looks like they're in full pads today as well. So they had the scrimmage on Saturday. I think they were off yesterday. Right back into full pads today. So hopefully we get some good footage for you, some one-on-one tackling drills. We'll see what is going, but right back into live pads today after the scrimmage.
Yeah, and I think it's
full
good
pads.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing. I want to see a lot of full contact today, because coming out of that scrimmage, there should be a little bit more fire. There should be maybe a little bit, if you didn't perform that well, a little bit of chip on the shoulder. Like, okay, I want to have a good practice. I missed 2 tackles in the scrimmage. I want to come out and tackle well today. So I love the decision, right? You want to build momentum. You want to build intensity. And I think coming out in full pads, and hopefully we see a bunch of tackling today, I think it's a good thing. And look, I know a lot less than Spencer and this coaching staff, but if I was the head coach of Boise State, I think that's what I'd be doing as well.
All right, offensive line. Tyler Etheridge looking good at left tackle. Stuart Taiufa at center. Battles at left guard, battles at right tackle. Obviously, Roger Carrion's the staple there. I'm expecting him to be a team captain when it's all said and done there at the guard position. So let's hear from Spencer Danielson after the scrimmage on the offensive line.
On the other side of the ball, what do you see out of your offensive line today? I know you still have to look at the film, but a guy like Tyler Etheridge, how's he adjusting?
Tyler Etheridge is playing at a very, very high level. Roger Carrion's playing at a high level. Jacob Tracy stepped up this fall camp and doing some good things. Dale Mator is doing some good things. Jason Steele, Carson Rasmussen, Stu's doing good. So there's a lot of Xander Esty. Those are really the guys that are having high levels of competition on offensive line. And Coach Keene, Coach Strasser are doing an awesome job with our offensive line. They're growing every single week. We put a lot on them from the run schemes, the protection, and they're doing a great job. I mean, our offensive front is going to be well trained, and they're going to play really well. Obviously, still a lot we need to improve in going into practice 10 on Monday, but excited where we're at as a front.
Spencer, the way you guys approach offensive line this year, how productive are you guys in practice right now? Just because it seems like Strauss and Keene kind of all split them up, and like the amount of work that's getting done just seems noticeable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see the development with our offensive line starting from the spring to now, right? And getting Coach Strasser here was a monster deal. I think Coach Keene's one of the best offensive line coaches in the country. Even Zach Holmes, who played for us last year, he's doing an awesome job as really like an offensive line graduate assistant for us. So those guys together, I mean, we split up meetings, obviously led by Coach Keene, but then we're getting a lot of different indie. Coach Strasser will grab guys and meet with them. I mean, there is development around the clock for our offensive front. That's who we are. We're a developmental program, and seeing our young O-line continue to grow and develop is really, really exciting.
What does that say about Coach Keene, that a guy like Coach Strasser comes in, and I saw practice. Coach Strasser was the one talking to the group, like that he's willing to let a guy that has a lot of experience and stuff come in and have as much of input and say as he is.
Yeah, it's twofold. I mean, Coach Keene is an elite offensive line coach. I believe that. I know he's very competent. He also wants to do whatever's best for the team. And everybody knows Coach Strasser helps Boise State football. I mean, he might be one of the best offensive line coaches to ever do it. I talked to Coach Pete about Strasser for a while, and he was like, Spence, and Coach Pete doesn't use this term often. He's like, he's an elite teacher, elite offensive line coach. So bringing that in to help us, Coach Keene was excited. He's like, hey, whatever we can do to help the team, help me, help our players, I'm all in. That's what I love about our staff. It's not egos. It's not, well, I wonder, is this going to take away from my acknowledgement? What helps the team? What helps the team? And it should be, and we got to model that so our players feel the same way. What's best for the team? And Barry and Coach Strasser, here's what's best for the team.
Coach Strasser, a lot of talk about him, but I think for good reason. I don't think you can really overstate that, Chris, to have an NFL. I mean, again, no disrespect to Tim Keene, but if you just put the two resumes side by side and said who's the more qualified offensive line, who's the more established offensive line coach, it would be Chris Strasser. I mean, he's again accomplished more in his career than Tim Keene, and for him to be living in town, he's real close buddies with our boy Kent Riddle. For him to just be kind of not ready to quote retire, I think he was sitting out because he might have been still getting paid. I don't know all the details, but the fact that he wanted to take this on, assistant offensive line coach, he's not Dirk Cutter standing there with a clipboard kind of analyzing. He's down there in the stands, blowing his whistle, cussing guys out. I mean, he is. You wouldn't, if you watched the practice, which we're going to go in here and do, and you watched both those guys, and you said, who's the offensive line coach of this team? You'd have a hard time picking. Yeah. They're both talking to groups. They're both doing a lot. I do think that says a lot about Tim Keene, that he's able to take his ego back, check his ego at the door a little bit and say, all right, like, if this is what's best for the team, like he's not worried about him overstepping his boundaries or taking his job or anything like that. And I think that they're really going to benefit from having both these guys, coaching the offensive line. But Jacob Tracy, a name that's popped up, Rasmussen, another name that's popped up. What do you make about some of the O-line battles?
Yeah, Jacob Tracy was a guy last year at fall camp we were writing about as a true freshman, that he's got the body to play early and that he looked really good for being a true freshman. Obviously red shirts last season, but he's come in and he's made it a battle at right tackle, and he's looked really good. I've been really impressed with his anchor in particular, the ability to, when he's getting pushed back, someone's bull rushing him, take 2 steps, reset himself. I think he's looked really good. And to that accord, I think Dalen Matoyer looks a lot better this camp than he did last year. He's carrying his weight a lot better. The official website says he's up 10 pounds, but to me, he looks leaner, looks like he's got more muscle, particularly in his upper half. I don't think it can be said enough, the job that Benjamin Hilgart did this offseason, helping guys transform their bodies. But I think that's officially a battle at right tackle between Jacob Tracy and Dalen Matoyer. And I think even if it is Matoyer again who wins the starting job, I think he looks better than he did a year ago. And left guard, this was not a spot that we anticipated a camp battle, because Jason Steele started almost every game for the Broncos last year at left guard.
Who we are going to talk to today, I believe he's on the list.
Yes, yeah, we'll talk to
Interesting, they're bringing him available.
Yeah, so we'll get a chance to talk to him a little bit about that battle along the offensive line. Now, but Carson Rasmussen has come in and looked really good. Carson Rasmussen played a little bit last year, mostly as like a third tight end in goal line packages, but played a little bit at guard, which I did think speaks some volumes, right? Like if you're getting on the field, even if it's just for 20 snaps in the whole season, usually that's a sign that the staff likes you and likes your potential. So I think the offensive line this year has a chance to be as good as last year's, if not better. And even the pieces that you had coming back that you were banking on, okay, you've got Matoyer at right, Steele at left, like those guys are in camp competitions. They're going to be pushed. They're going to be better. And then Tyler Etheridge at left tackle has come in and, I mean, just continues to earn praise from the coaching staff. I talked to one player during media days, and he was like, yeah, I think Tyler Etheridge is the best left tackle I've ever played with. And I go, even better than Cage Casey? You were with Cage Casey the last 2 years. He's like, Etheridge is every bit as good as Cage Casey.
Wow.
So some high praise for a guy who played at CSU Pueblo the last 3 years.
Yeah, I was going to say high praise, saying the line could be as good, if not better, when you lose a Cage Casey and then you lose a Mason Randolph. And but yeah, they feel really good about some of the guys. And we had a comment in here about would like to see both guys hit the 1,000-yard rushing. I know that is kind of a small goal to get both guys over 1,000, but I think the offensive line is in pretty good shape. And it does seem like, again, knock on wood, you don't want to have it, but because of some of these battles, you do feel like you can go beyond 5 and maybe sustain an injury or two.
Yeah, and I think that's really been one of the strengths of Tim Keene since he got to Boise State is it feels like every year there's injuries that mount on the offensive line. It's football, it happens. But every year it feels like there's a guy that they can plug and play in there who plays good football, whether it's a Zach Holmes or in the past it's been Jake Steele or Dalen Matoyer back when Hall Schmidt was starting at right tackle. Like, it doesn't matter who's come in or out. They've always had a guy who can give them capable offensive line play. I think Tim Keene's a really good offensive line coach. I think he does a really good job. And I think once again, they're going to be probably 7, 8, maybe 9 deep on the offensive line if injuries do mount up again.
By the way, there was a comment in the chat there that said, love hearing him cussing guys out. I didn't necessarily mean he's actually cussing guys out. He's just not afraid to get in your face.
He gets fired up.
He's getting fired up. He's coaching them hard, which is not something you always see from an analyst or, as an assistant offensive line coach. He is out there in the drills, coaching them and making a big difference. I think it's a big deal. We're going to talk here momentarily to AJ Few about his dad going into the Hall of Fame up there in Gonzaga. I know that's, you probably want to just handle this interview as a big Gonzaga honk, but any final thoughts from you before you walk over and see practice? Again, full padded practice today. This is practice 10 of fall camp.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the guys respond to that first scrimmage, right? Is there going to be an increased level of intensity? Is there going to be some extra juice today? And if they do tackling drills, how does the tackling look? My plan is to write an article some point this week or next week about some unanswered questions that we have, and I think that's going to be one of the big ones. Where's the tackling at? So I'm excited to see how the intensity looks today, how the tackling looks today.
Well, looking forward to getting out there and seeing practice 10. Thank you, Nathan, for stopping by, man. Always appreciate it.
Of course, appreciate you having me on.
All right, Mark Few going into the Hall of Fame, and there was a big contingent of Boise State's coaches and family members up there in the ceremony there, and I guess in Massachusetts there in the College Basketball Hall of Fame. Looking forward to talking to AJ Few about that here in just a second. But do want to thank a couple of our great sponsors. That includes Taco Bell. Taco Bell, check them out, TacoBellWorks.com, the Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News, whether it's the Cantina line, all the great options they have, the bowls, and the good old cheesy roll-ups. So many great options. The breakfast. Had the breakfast the other day after we did the show there with Prater. Hash browns are as good as advertised from our man Johnny Ballgame. So check out a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. Hey, don't forget about the Blue and Orange Store, the blueandorangestore.com. You can get all your coaches' sideline apparel, your officially licensed Boise State gear. That's at the Blue and Orange Store online, the blueandorangestore.com. They got 14,000 hats on the hat wall there at the mall location. They've got the customized jerseys available here at the Allen Noble Hall of Fame location. They'll have those kiosks all around the stadium for the football season. Your official in-venue provider of Boise State merchandise. That is the Blue and Orange Store online at the blueandorangestore.com. And speaking of merchandise, if you're wanting to get that piece of the blue turf, that piece of the goalpost that was torn down a couple years ago, check out collectbsu.com. They've got official gear, whether it's football equipment bags, whether it's stools that sat in the players' lockers. I'm sure they'll be getting some basketball stuff in there as well. But the big things are the blue turf, the actual pieces of the turf, small, big, different price ranges. And then they have pieces of the goalpost that got torn down as well. You can purchase both of those. The collectbsu.com is the site to go there for that. All right, big weekend for the Few family. Nice enough on short notice to join us here. AJ Few. AJ, appreciate you, man. I know you're back in Spokane, but we appreciate you. Fun weekend, probably a long weekend. Your dad goes into the Hall of Fame. Cool moment for the family there, and we appreciate you coming on to tell us all about it. How we doing, man?
Doing great, BJ. Doing great. Like you just said, it was an amazing weekend. So, I'm back home now, but it was unbelievable weekend with the family and everything. And hey, I appreciate you having me on, man. I know it's football season coming up, but excited to get back on the show.
Yeah, we're outdoors. We're hearing the whistles blow. Practice is starting right behind me here, so we're going to get out there and check out practice in a little bit. But I thought it was just too cool of a weekend to not have you on. I was watching your dad's speech, and that was awesome. And then just seeing all the familiar faces in the crowd there with your family. And then I saw Gary and Christina Van Tol in there, and everybody knows all about them and their ties here to Boise State. And then I saw the Rice kids and family there as well. And there's probably more that I didn't see that have some Boise State ties as well. But what was it like just to be up there and experience that with so many people that and obviously the Tommy Lloyds of the world were there, and just a lot of the other former current coaches for Gonzaga and stuff. But just had to be a really cool experience.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. It was unbelievable. Not only to first off be around that much greatness. I mean, you're at the event. I'm looking to my right. You got Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett right there. Looking to my left, Coach Calipari, Roy Williams, Steve Nash. All, just by me. You got to take a step back and be like, wow, this is unbelievable to be around this much greatness and people who have done so much for the game of basketball. And then, like you said, to be around it with people, you love so much and you're so close to, like you said, like my aunt, Christina Van Tall, my uncle, Gary Van Tall, who I know have strong ties to Boise State, that all the Rice brothers were there. Obviously Coach Rice was there as well. And then, like you said, the connections, like Tommy Lloyd and his family, who I don't get to see as much anymore. So all those special people and former players that I'm super close with, and obviously my dad's super close with as well. So like you're saying, to be around that much greatness and be around people you love too, all in that moment together, is super special.
I think I saw one of the Greer. Was it Billy Greer in one of the photos? Or I saw a lot of people, other ties from that group of friends that have gone a long time. And what's this been like for you, man? Just kind of seeing this as a kid growing up and seeing what your dad was able to do there, and also just the Leons of the world and all the other coaches that were a part of that kind of crew growing up together and all kind of doing some big things at some big places now.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. My dad kind of talked about it in his speech, but just where he grew up in Crestwell, Oregon, you never, ever would have imagined that he'd end up in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And same with us kids growing up, as far as we never saw him like that. So for him to make it that far is amazing. And like you said, all the friends along the way and the coaches along the way who have branched off and been super successful, including, Coach Rice, Coach Greer, Coach Munson. All those guys, Coach Lloyd. It's funny. They were just like, they were my age when they were starting out in all of it, and they were broke. They didn't have any money. They didn't know what they were doing. Just volunteer grad assistants. But they all knew they loved coaching, and they were all super, super tight knit. And it's just so cool now how you fast forward to right now, and they're all in their own walks of life, super successful. But what's really cool is how strong their bond all still is. I mean, when they get in a room, it's like that. It's like they've been together. They haven't missed a beat, and it's pretty entertaining as well when you get them all in a room talking.
I bet there was some late nights.
Yeah,
there was a few beverages had and some late nights and a good time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't sleep much, but it like I said, it was an awesome experience.
Tell us about just the personal, like for you, just like your dad, like being a college basketball, just it's the Hall of Fame, the Naismith Hall of Fame, like just what this means to your family, and just you have the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, the College Hall of Fame. But I mean, this is as big as it gets for your dad to be and be up there and to wear that jacket and have that ring and just to now know that your dad is forever a Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer, and seeing the work that went into it, and like I said, seeing this. The last 20 plus years growing up, just to see, and it's crazy to me, like you can be a current coach and be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's just a side note, but it's pretty sweet that he's now coaching as a Hall of Famer, but like obviously it's so deserved, but just on a personal note for you, what's this mean to see your dad be enshrined with the all-time greats?
Yeah. I mean, just so unbelievably proud and blessed. Like it is crazy. He's so humble. Like he does not like talking about, himself or his accolades, but it finally kind of all hit us when we were actually at the museum, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame Museum. Walking around looking at that, and we got to his kind of section or booth where they got his little photo basketball, and then they got a fly rod there too to honor because he's a big fly fisherman. But just that in the booth, and it was like right next to like Pete Maravich, and picture him in his old game shoes, and then I think Michael Jordan was right there too, and it just kind of hits you like, wow, like he's enriched in the Hall of Fame. That's going to be there for probably longer than we're both alive in that booth, and his legacy will live on that way, which is really crazy to think about. But I'm just unbelievably proud of him and everything he's worked to do, and how he did it. He was an unbelievable father to all of us, always made time for his family and everything. So super proud.
Well, and even just the three people up on stage with him, right? By the way, David Moats is standing right over here. He's just randomly back. Yeah, David Moats is here with his family, like taking pictures with people there.
Give him a little wave. Give him a little wave from me.
a former player from last year's team that might not want me saying he's here. Looks like working out as well. I'm gonna leave that go. But yeah, David Moats is right there. He's waving at me. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But
that's awesome.
even the three people on the stage, like John Stockton, John Calipari, and was it Grant Hill? Like the three guys just sitting up there on the stage, like 5 feet from your dad as he was talking. That was kind of insane.
No, yeah, unbelievable. And we've gotten to play. Obviously, I've known Coach Stockton forever. I don't know if you know this. He coached me and Max in AAU growing up, so we've known him forever. And just he's unbelievable. But then like Coach Calipari was sitting right behind our family, like in the seat right behind. Christina's son Garrick was talking to him the whole time. He was awesome, just story after story, rattling it off. And then Grant Hill is, you can be kind of intimidated by guys with accolades of his likes, but he's one of the nicest, most humble, genuine people ever. We've gotten to know him a little bit through the USA basketball stuff. He's awesome. So to have those three, I know that meant a ton to my dad to have those three be the one to present him in. So yeah, awesome stuff.
AJ Few, our guest, Boise State coaching staff, getting enjoying this, but getting back to work here in the next week or two as the guys get back for school and get this thing rolling. How you feeling about how the summer workouts, man? How the roster's looking? Just what's the big picture take on where the team's at right now?
Yeah, I think we had a good summer. The guys really got super tight. I think our culture really got established well, which is great. Coach Rice and Coach Whitmer did a great job with that. Obviously we had a little adversity right at the start. Ty went down with injury, but he's been unbelievable with his rehab and doing everything he does to need to get back to the court. So I'm excited for what it looks like when we got everyone together, but I was proud of how the guys attacked the summer and got better.
What does that do for you and maybe Max and even Coach Rice, or just all you guys that were up there watching that ceremony and watching that thing and just hearing these stories and seeing it and knowing the run that Gonzaga made and knowing, that you guys want to try to make a similar run, here at Boise State. Did that add any fuel to your fire, just being up there and hearing some of those stories and just kind of getting ready to get this thing going?
Oh, absolutely. It's inspiring, man. Like I said, when I'm sitting there around that much greatness, I didn't feel like I deserved to be there, not even close. So it's inspiring. Definitely makes me want to go to the drawing board and do everything I can to help Boise State go on an unbelievable run, not just this year, for the next 5 to 10 years. So absolutely, if you don't leave that feeling inspired and ready to go, then there's something wrong with you.
There's a lot of people in the chat that are all worried about, kind of curious how it's going to go when you guys play Gonzaga this year. I know there was a big talk, obviously, about Leon and Mark, and they would never play each other, not even in an exhibition, because they just didn't want to do that. Now they don't have a choice. When they got scheduled in the same conference, one of them will retire before then. They're never actually going to play each other. And then sure enough, now you guys are going to be playing them twice next season, once up there, once here. What's that going to be like for you, coaching against your dad? What do you think that's going to be like for Leon? Like, there's so many ties on both sides. Have you thought much about that?
Yeah, I get asked about it a lot. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty weird for our family, especially the first time around. But I mean, we love competing. We always have in everything, not just basketball, golf, pickleball, whatever it is. So I think after the first start of the game, I think it'll just be normal. We'll be back to competing. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be really weird, not just for me, obviously for Coach Rice going back to Spokane, walking into McCarthy on the other sideline. Same with Max. I mean, Max grew up with it too. So it's going to be all of us. It's going to be weird for my dad, my mom. she's torn. She's from Boise area too. So the ties are so deep and so strong. But hey, we got a lot of work to do up until that point, BJ. We got a whole non-con slate. That's a really good slate, so we got to attack that.
Is the first time there or here, though? Can you at least is the first time there or here, and does that matter for you?
I actually don't know. I don't think they've released it yet.
Okay.
I'd probably want to get the one in the McCarthy out of the way first, honestly.
Okay.
Get that one out, get all the emotions out, so by the time they come here, it's all basketball.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man. Well, hey, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot for jumping on. Enjoy the time there. So was there just like a massive 737 private jet for all you guys that went there and back, or that had to be how'd you guys all get there and stuff? Come on.
We don't got it like that, BJ. It was, I mean, travel was hard. That's why I'm super appreciative of everyone who went out there. All the Boise crew, like my mom's family had massive delays and all that. But now we all kind of got there at different times, different everything. Some of us just I didn't, but some people had, 6 a.m. flights yesterday. So they just stayed up all night, Saturday night. So yeah, coming and going a lot of different places, but now everyone's back home and safe. So yeah, it was an awesome weekend and appreciate everyone who came out.
Cool, man. Well, hey, thanks a lot for jumping on. Enjoy the final little time there with your family, and we'll see you back here in Boise. And I'll tell Mr. Moats and Andrew Meadows standing over there oddly is weird.
Oh yeah. Go give him a little dap up and a hug and say what up for me.
Yeah. Nice little. I'll have to go over there and say hello to him. But
Yeah.
thanks for jumping on, man, and we'll see you back in Boise here real soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, BJ. Hey, keep doing all the hard work for football. You're my go-to source for all of it. So
well, I'm ready for. I'm a basketball guy at heart, man. So I'm ready to get this thing rolling with basketball here soon too. But
Let's go.
we do what we can, man. Thanks a lot, bud.
Yes, sir. See it.
There he is, AJ Few. Appreciate him for jumping on. The whistles are going here, so we're going to get over there to practice here pretty quickly so we can jump in and get going there. But again, full coverage. We're going to talk to like 3 players after practice, interviews, practice highlights, footage. Our 60% offer that you see at the bottom of the screen is not going to last much longer, folks. 60% off. That's $4.67 a month. Jump in now as a subscriber. If you can help us out, less than $5 a month, and you get 12 months of Boise State football, basketball, recruiting on the road, at home. We're the only outlet, folks, that travels to the road basketball games and the road football games. So if you want coverage you're literally not getting anywhere else, check us out, BroncoNationNews.com. And hopefully you can subscribe and help us out and continue to help us elevate our coverage here at Bronco Nation News. So the Sun Cruiser, pick up a Sun Cruiser. We're in the Sun Cruiser studios, of course, out here at Boise State. And, of course, Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. New or pre-owned vehicles, when you're ready for that next Ford vehicle, go check out Lithia Ford of Boise. Tell Jim Sturk and company you heard about it on BNN. They'll hook you up with the best available deal. But we really appreciate all you guys for watching the show. Just hit an hour, and appreciate the Starlink, which I think for the most part has been helping with the internet quality here on these remote broadcasts. But thank you guys. Go subscribe if you can. Hit that like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. Help us get to 8,000 YouTube subscribers. Our Boise State student, Mateo, who's an intern, he gets a bonus when we hit 8,000 subscribers, when we hit 9,000, and when we can only get to 10,000 YouTube subscribers. Let's help get Mateo, a college kid, a little extra cash. Appreciate you guys. There he is walking over as we speak. So appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Interviews to come, practice highlights to come. Go subscribe. Go read BroncoNationNews.com. Go get in the message boards and chat with folks, and we will talk to you guys soon. Bronco Nation News, we're heading to watch practice. Details, interviews, coverage to come. Bronco Nation News online, BroncoNationNews.com.